Today we're gonna be checking out Black Friday deals and why some of them are good, why some of them are bad. I'm gonna try and give you the mindset to determine what deals are good and what deals are bad. Why should you listen to me? I'm passionate about getting your value for your money, and also I do not condone the getting VSTs through illegal ways for free. I'm sure you know about it. That means that I usually overanalyze what I'm going to buy. Second reason you should listen to me is none of the brands that I'm going to be discussing today are going to be sponsoring me. So this will be totally me. Third reason is I'm going to be buying these on stream with my own money, on stream in the video with my own money. I'm sorry, I've been streaming the research to this video. The first tip I want to give you is always check what the regular value of a plugin is. For instance, right here it says 222 euro. For one audio plugin. You should be skeptical, and in this case I think it never has been that expensive, so it's still kept. This is an exception though, because I still feel like 30 bucks is a great deal for this plugin. I have this plugin myself. In my opinion, the most key plugin that you should have is either that or the Antares Autotune plugin, which are on sale as well. If there's something that your stock plugins in your DAW are missing, then only go search for alternatives in the third-party world. Try to get as many stock things in here as possible. By the way, I'm gonna be more on the saving side of things. I'm definitely not gonna be telling you to go ahead and buy all this because I just have an affiliate link or some bullshit like that. I really want you to get your value for your money, and in my opinion, first step is to always check what your stock effects and stock instruments do and see what you're lacking and proceed from there. So this is the plugin. I can't sing for shit, so listen to it. New chapter, new man, new body, new shorty, new buddies, nobody. Who hurt me? Nobody. You're probably gonna be working with artists, either if it's pop or rap, but in rap especially, you're gonna be facing artists that can't sing for shit. So you gotta have this, you gotta have some auto-tune, right? If I would choose one, I would choose the Wave one. This is the only one I have at the moment, or not, I have the Antares one too, actually, but I just use the Waves one for now. I can actually see the milliseconds on there, which also gives you universal values. So if you're working with an artist that already knows what values he wants, you can put it in milliseconds over here. This project actually leads me to my next point, which is this knock plugin. No, it's not because I was on a live stream of decap ones that I'm showing you this plugin, but this is actually the only plugin that is in my template, in my default templates included, because it is worth the minimal latency, even that it's like 10 milliseconds that it adds to your set, but it's just, I need it. It's an amazing punch for drums, and it gives you lots of amounts of control over what you're doing. Let's hear it without it. Already pretty bombastic 808s, but listen to this now. Come on. Obviously, I already own this plugin, but 75 euro. I mean, I'm always skeptical when I'm buying audio effects plugins, since this is something that you could set up in Ableton, but it's just the graphics are also on point. Plugins that I want to warn you about are plugins like these. We actually checked this on stream, and it actually turned out to be a pretty okay plugin. But generally, if it's a company you've never heard of, and it's like a weird concept, for instance, this is more of a Foley plugin. Like I said, it actually turned out great. I think it's worth this money. I'm just personally not gonna be copping this, but if you're into, like, if you want to make something different, then these are the kinds of plugins that you need to look into. They're often very cheap. Arturia has personalized discounts, you see, so I already have Analog Lab, and you see it gives me a lots of extra discounts. I mean, Pigments for 69 euro is just a steal in my opinion. Next point, Output Arcade. I think this one is an essential, and it's on sale, so I'm gonna check if I can cancel my subscription and then resubscribe with a discount. Okay, I can accept the free month, which is already, they're playing it well. Now let's see if I can reactivate this. Okay, so that does not work. So if you don't have Arcade, just get it now. It's discounted slightly, and you will not regret it. I really think it's an essential, not only for the samples that are in there and the new banks and the renewals of the banks, because they actually update their sounds a lot, but actually because you can really put any sample into it and chop it up. DAWs. I haven't really seen any DAW go up in discount. When it comes to DAWs, I'm always holding back because I feel like a lot of people already have their DAW, but I realize if you have like what they call writer's block block or like a music block, I really would recommend getting a new DAW, and right now seems to be the time for FL. Quick notes, I think you should stick to one DAW. At the same time, it's like I said, when you have block, this is like insanely interesting to see also like how DAWs differ, and you can have a better image of how you could, for instance, merge two DAWs and make it into one workflow, because that could be your custom workflow, could be your thing. Waves, I'm not gonna dive in too deep to them. They always have this kind of discount where you can choose your own plugins. Generally, Waves makes plugins that are replacing your stock plugins, so I do not recommend spending your money on this first. First, get instruments, get those kind of VSTs, get sample organization VSTs like EXO, which is on sale right now as well. I've decided that you've been watching my video long enough to get this amazing deal. This is the first bombshell that I'm gonna drop. It's a $400 mastering plugin. Is it worth that full amount of money? I'm not sure honestly, but it's quite the price duck, so I would get it anyways. I already have Isotope mastering plugin and I really like that, so I'm not gonna cop this probably, but I'm just saying, if you don't have a mastering plugin, I wouldn't think about it twice. Expand is a tough one. I really want this plugin personally, but I've seen it go on bigger discounts before. I remember it was like $5 or $10 2 years ago. Didn't get into it, so I mean, I kind of should buy it on video, but I just feel really bitter about those 20 euro that I just threw away. Fuck it. Next cop for me is gonna be Sublab. This plugin is amazing if you're into sound design, especially bass sounds. I think it's only for bass sounds, but 808s, if you feel like you're always using the same 808s, you want to make your custom 808s, get them in a pack, sell them afterwards. This is the plugin, since 808s are, I wouldn't say easier necessarily, but they're more effective to make with a plugin like this than to do it in other methods where you have to layer and stuff. A cop from me. Then we have Addictive Drums. Now, Addictive Drums is tricky as well. I would buy it in your place if you don't have anything in that space. Even if you make trap music, by the way, I would really recommend getting this, since this will direct you into making a different type of music along with the next plugin in the row, which is gonna be Moto Bass. Same thing here. If you make trap music, you're not really used to using bass plugins unless you make like soul samples. This original price is set quite neutral. I feel like this is actually worth its money, and the discount on this is gigantic, and I would really recommend this. Sometimes you really can beat Beatblock by just buying new gear. I know it's very controversial, and I want to say that with hardware it's even more than with software. I feel like if you have a keyboard, it will change your workflow. You will get more inspired that way. You also have to learn an instrument, which is going to build some more character. Try to have lots of variation in the plugins that you have. For instance, buy one instrument plugin, buy one effect plugin. Buy your effect plugin last, but buy one instrument plugin, buy a organization tool, buy a separation tool. Make sure you have, from everything you have a bit. That will really benefit you the most when it comes to creating music. Lander has a stem separation tool, which I would really recommend anyone getting. It is subscription plan, which lots of y'all won't like, but I mean the prices are dead low, especially if you're trying to make remixes, which I would recommend anyone doing. Then this is quite the deal for you. Loop Cloud is a great service as well. It's a great alternative to Splice, which I think Loop Cloud might be more value for your buck, since they are new and they're kind of competing with Splice, and Splice is like this established version. I saw that Loop Cloud has lots of deals going on, which brings me to my next point. If you're gonna buy hardware anyways, buy your hardware first, since it will come bundled with software, especially when you buy Arturia. Also, Native Instruments will do the same. For instance, with my interface, I got Guitaric Pro, which was insane and really needed that. You even get some cloud storage, which is great for backing up. You're a musician, so you should back up your stuff. And they also have better syncing. Splice doesn't sync up your key. Splice only syncs up your tempo. So I think Loop Cloud is kind of superior to Splice, which proves my point about Loop Cloud being the underdog and needs to fight more for its place in this industry. Don't stress out about any of these deals. If you missed it, it's probably gonna come back next year. And remember, it's not the gear, it's mostly yourself. I wish you a great Black Friday.